Morning. Okay, we'll call the meeting, the July meeting of Columbia Open Space to order at 8:05. And entertain a motion to accept the minutes of June 17th.
I was absent. It's not there.
Okay, I move we accept it.
Second it.
By the way, the minutes have never been better. I just want.
I know that. Minutes are great. Chris, he's taking them now too. Is there a second for that?
I second it. Yes.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Audience of citizens.
I'm the citizen representative. Nice to see you all. Glad the sunshine.
Glad you could come. Now, do you have anything you want to bring up?
I would like to get an update on what we're doing about parking, because a long time ago, I remember that there had been some, I think it was in some set of minutes or something where you would wonder, there was some discussion about where the parking lot was going to go. And I made a comment about the fact that we have wonderful parking at the boat launch over on Hunt Road, and wondered if there's any further discussion about building the boardwalk to that area that we talked about.
Yeah.
It seems like that might be a cost-effective way of, I mean, basically, we have a parking lot, it's being maintained, so apart from the initial cost of putting the boardwalk, there may not be, I don't know how much boardwalks cost.
It depends upon the board.
Boardwalk. And the other option, I was kind of on my way over here, is that I know we had talked about areas at the end of Wells Woods, not about that option. But the other thing I was thinking about, on Lake Bridge, there's that turnaround. Remember
Yes.
where the initial development in the early 80s, like put it there because all they did was those first houses and
Right.
Hickory Fort. So there's already, you know, an expanse of cleared and paved. Just throwing that out there.
Linda, the trail that goes behind Lake Ridge, between Lake Ridge and Hickory, that trail,
Yes,
where does that come out? Does it come out in that cul-de-sac?
goes from that little cul-de-sac thing to. Is it? I've only lived there 25 years, please.
Here's the
What?
road.
Yeah,
It
no,
comes out right by your house.
it comes out below my house, below Bob's house, below St. Martin's, so I think it's between St. Martin's and that, Grace, it's not Grace Ridge, but
Yeah,
just the one past McGrath's.
right.
It comes out right there on Lake Bridge, so it goes from Lake Bridge to Lake Bridge. But then right across the street from that cul-de-sac thing, there's also that trail that goes down along the back side of my side of Mount Pond. That comes out over on left. So I mean, there's that could all, like, it's not part of our property, but it's town property, so I don't know, it just seems like it might be in all the right place. If the options at the end of Wells Woods are no longer options. And then we had also at some point talked about some properties up at the, on Hunt Road. But I don't know what's going on there.
Okay, the short answer is nothing's happening.
Okay.
The long answer is, we're working on it. We need to acquire a piece of land at the end of Wells Woods in order to work on that. There's a ability, if we acquire another piece on Wells Wood, we lost the piece on Hunt Road that was sold to a private entity. And I'm, as far as the bridge in power line, Boardwalk, I'm not sure about if and build, because that's state land, and we would need to involve the state. And it's complicated, I think. Not impossible, but I was kind of hoping the state would do that. That boardwalk across.
Do they know that we're looking for parking and that might be a viable option?
Yes,
They do know.
yeah, well, yes, I did, when, Mark Walter and I went to meet with the state about, this on the management plan, that was definitely brought up.
That what?
The boardwalk was definitely
That
brought up
in what forum?
to the state.
Okay, but there's something that's just-
And they took copious notes. And then whoever was the leader of the group at left that position and moved to another position in the Department of Agriculture. And have you had any luck raising anybody?
No, since the pandemic hit, the state points on.
So,
Well, now that the pandemic is not here, maybe we can sort of raise awareness that issue still exists and.
Right, because we don't have a the state, and that's got to become a priority.
Plan?
Right,
Yeah,
for Monopond State Park.
right, because the properties are not on state park.
Right, so that's really the next step.
Okay,
We all get back together and, you know, try to help cyclists, hikers,
it just seems like such
keep the
a,
motorized vehicles out of there.
right,
I know, for 2 years, everything just came to a screeching halt.
Could you make me some coffee?
Right, so, because sleepover,
So I'll just eat it.
I feel very guilty parking a view next to Todd's house. And once in a while, I sit in that way.
I don't think there's any reason to feel guilty, I mean, it's a public road.
I know that.
Yeah, I talked to Tom, he was okay, he just didn't want.
It's not a park,
I know, it's not a
Tons of
parking
cars
lot.
there all of a sudden.
and, you know, it's a position of neighbors and Wells Woods too,
Right,
especially when you park 4 cars there.
well, everything's in position, I mean, Island Woods was in position of. We're not talking about building 100 houses, so,
I got it.
so, but I still vote for the boardwalk, because I just, well,
Yep. That actually is, I think though that you could do a very simple thing. Although getting the materials in there would be difficult. Or you could build the top. And it would be
Where would
permanent.
the boardwalk go?
show you. We can walk out there.
At home, since we can't screen share,
It would be
a park up
right.
in the power line at the end of the pond, on the south end of the pond where it's marsh.
Oh, I think I drew it in right here.
That's where the boardwalk will be.
That you cross there, so that you can carve on Hunt Road,
Well. It's here.
Taj Mahal parking lot,
Well,
hike through the original model pond,
it's that.
across the boardwalk, and
So here.
You're into the 300 acre.
yeah.
Paul, Paul,
Yes,
would you mute your mic when you're not talking, because the background noise causes you to cut in, and then I can't hear what's going on in the meeting.
I can hardly hear anything at all.
Mhm. Okay, well, can you mute yourself if you're not talking? Because what it does, it cuts in on the audio that I'm getting from the room, and it's hard for me to hear. It's even harder for me to hear.
We aren't in control of anything here. This is automatic.
Okay.
We're not in front of screens. It's this thing right in front.
It's doing all this. We'll have to talk, we'll have to speak louder, that's what we'll do.
Yes, and one, the background noise, Linda has a map and she was showing
That's all right, that's fine. Let's go on.
where the walk would go. Okay. What happened to Mark?
He went out to see Jennifer.
Okay, I'll mute you.
I'm gonna, the next thing on the agenda is executive session, but I want to wait until Mark returns before we do that. So I'll move on to new business, and particularly the Trust for Public Land fundraiser at the Hearthstone Winery. Nick Hoffman, who I do not see him, he was not able to join us. Yeah. He may, after he gets his kids squared away, Zoom in, but I doubt it. I met with him and walked at the winery so that Nick and Walt could have a conversation and Nick could look over the facility. So that's in the works, and that is October 9th, October 9th. So I was hoping that Nick was going to show up with a list of chores for us to do. And so far, he has not yet done that. So our chore is to make sure that people and their checkbooks get there. And Trust for Public Land will put on a presentation. I imagine it'll be very similar to the one we had 3 years ago, which was moderately successful. This time I hope the message will drive drive home the fact that Trust for Public Land is a nonprofit, but they still have hired professionals who need to be paid. And they are working on our project. So it behooves us to contribute. So think of all the people you know who might possibly contribute to this and might come and join us for a glass of wine and some refreshments.
Ian, how do you feel about inviting the person from DEEP who's involved with this project to speak at the fundraiser?
Oh, what a good idea. I'll get right on that.
At the last fundraiser, there were a lot of people there from Lebanon. Do we work with them again to get some of those folks involved, and maybe some people from Hebron as well, because they're both bordering interested parties for Wellswood.
Excellent ideas. Nick did mention when I talked to him about this, we wanted people from outside of Columbia, because Columbia taxpayers are in the process of, we spend money. We're about to purchase a piece of property there from the undesignated fund balance. And so, Columbia is contributing. So I said that we needed people from the outside. And Nick said, definitely, he's got, people in mind, like, I don't know, they have people from outside of Columbia who regularly donate to TBL. He's got, so he will take care of contacting other people. So the burden is not just on Columbia. So we'll definitely include Lebanon, Hebron, and Nick, I think, has connections to other organizations, for instance, the mountain biking people and things like that. But we still need, and this serves a dual purpose of reminding the people of Columbia that this project is going on in our town, and getting them excited about it so they'll come and vote yes at town meetings.
And for the minutes, what's Nick's last name again?
Hoffman,
Hoffman? Okay. Thank you.
I think it's 2 F's, 1 N.
Okay.
Anne, did you did you write something for the Columbia Views for this next issue?
Yes, I did.
What? Did you put anything about the fundraiser? Because the succeeding issue will be after October.
Yes, I did recognize that, and yes, I put, as you suggested, I put the little box ad in, save the date for.
Oh, okay, great.
And I also wrote an article that identifies when that is.
Okay, great.
To get it in. Okay, are you with us, could we go into executive session and then you report on all
Okay.
those things? Okay, I moved that we
We
went
went
in at 8:25.
right into executive session at 8:25, we're out of executive session at 8:56, and
And
no
no
action
votes
was
were
taken,
taken.
no votes.
Okay,
Back to you.
Oh, I already do approve the minutes too, by the way.
That we were in session.
yes, and you weren't here. Okay, Columbia Views, we need an article in the November issue. Anybody feel like writing an article?
Ron,
Oh, Professor Emeritus. He did great. Well,
I did put that map there last time. But I'll be happy.
I'm good at volunteering.
yeah, I know you are. I was kind of hoping.
I want to see what you did for this last one. Said, will that be out then soon?
Yeah, should be out the 1st of August. It might also appear in the town administrator's newsletter, because often when you submit an article for views, if it's not controversial or something, it appears on the website. So it might be there, because I'm never controversial. Anyway, well, did you accept the challenge? Thank you. We can,
One of the things you could consider doing is, that would be after the fundraiser at the vineyard. We could have like a picture, some kind of photograph of the event itself, and put something about that in it. Just a thought.
I don't know if you can see this, but Mark just passed out the airline state park trail. Columbia,
Columbia.
and see
Is it
this
your first
cute
prize?
little thing, it's the
Pretty good.
size of a credit card.
This is great.
And it's up into a whole map.
And what's even QR code? Yeah, turn it over. See all these QR codes? They link to our website. The one QR code is for attractions, so it's everything you want to do in Columbia. Winery, retail, establishments. And off our website, you link to the actual establishment. So you see the winery, and you hit that link and you go to their website. The restaurants, it's every restaurant in Columbia. It links to a restaurant list, and then you hit and you go right to their website. So, and then there's one for trails, and it links to our website for every trail in Columbia, and description of where to park and where to go. And then on the one side, it shows parking for the Hop River and the airline trail. And on the other side, it's a link to, I don't know what this QR code does on this side. Probably brings you to this airline trail.
This is awesome.
So this was made possible by that grant for the 12 towns. So the 12 towns each have one of these. Every town did one. And the main moose was the main to make this happen. They gave a nice check. And the town pitched in. And this is really thanks to Jen, worked with the designer that the grant hired.
Yep.
And between the designer and Stephen Everett and myself and Jen, this became a reality. So it was a lot of work.
And there's some very nice photographs in that too.
Thank you, Paul,
Yes.
at the last minute.
I
Stephen,
was just looking
Stephen
at
didn't
it.
like our photos we had, so Jen reached out to Paul and said, Paul, we need some better photos, and he sent us a whole bunch, and now they're in this magazine. Thank you, Paul.
And they
Okay.
no,
Yeah, that really made a difference, because we were using horrible photos that we had, and they wasn't working.
How many do we have?
Oh, sorry.
I mean,
I think I've been giving them out to establishments in town to hand out, and I think we still have a whole case, so I probably have still 1,000.
Oh, great. So at the town meeting, we can give these out.
Yep, they've been available every day, people take them, leave them in the town hall. They've been down on
Is the main moose doing that tree cutting? It looks like they're trying to put an access road down
there is an access
there.
road.
Yeah, they're trying to put some on the rivers that people can come up to the.
Yes, they, right now, we're trying to open up the Hop River Trail to come right to Main Moose, but we're battling with DEP.
It's right where the two giant billboards are, and they should get rid of the billboards next.
We might,
I would think DEP would like that because supposedly one of the big
Because-
trails is commercial.
yes, but they don't like is that the two bridges, the main bridge and a little culvert bridge are scheduled to be replaced.
Yeah.
And they're a hazard right now. So they've been trying to not let people come to this section of the trail and go around Flanders and King. And then Main Moose opened it all up and DP lost their minds.
Yeah, one of the trestles is in really bad
Well,
shape.
then, for some reason, those bridges would be in construction right now. I don't know how, but the state decided to do an entire analysis of antiquities and whether there was anything of value underneath these bridges, and that delayed everything 2 years.
But once it's done, then they won't have an issue. But it might be.
We're 2 years away still.
But it does cut the main moose out of the flow on the airline.
By blocking the culvert in Flanders Road, you can't get the Main Moose.
Right.
So
And you'd have to go over that trestle. to
I'm
get
trying
there.
right now politically to open the culvert for a bicycle race to come through to the Main Moose. The one
Is
day
that,
only.
is the culvert the one that's on Flanders Road? Yeah.
Nothing's easy.
never.
So this was important to the neighbors.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and this map was funded to generate activity on walking trails and economic development. So that's how we use our grant money.
Yeah, that's what the grant was.
you have to come down, you're coming down the airline going east. You gotta come across that trestle and then you gotta, must be able to do a U-turn back to the main moose.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, any other commissioner comments? No, gone. Okay, our next meeting is August 19th. And we are probably having the town meeting on August 17th. So I won't be able to nab you again. So as soon as we get the date, I will let you know. And then just tell everybody you know who's in favor that they have to get to this town meeting. Promise them the moon and the stars if they'll come.
And you mentioned that you're not communicating with.
No, I emailed her little updates and I never hear back from her now.
That's more than one time.
Yeah, that's like 3 times.
Almost 2 weeks.
So it worries me.
I wonder if she's been assign something else.
Well, Holly at the state, we didn't hear back from her. Then we find out she doesn't work there anymore. She's in the Department of Agriculture, so that makes me nervous.
Maybe we should have a subcommittee in space pursuing, actively pursuing purchasing, reaching out, because it's not being done now. But
Don, you have to speak it towards the speaker because we can't hear you.
I want you to hear it. I'm saying that maybe we should have a subcommittee pursuing purchasing parcels in the Mono Pond area.
Yeah.
Because of lack of impetus at this point from TPO.
Now, okay, let me, just say this about that. First of all, our committee is not allowed to negotiate. We are lucky if we even get invited to Board of Selectmen executive session on it.
But I'm talking about reaching out to landowners. It's not being done now. And we don't want to.
Well, I don't know that it's not being done. Honor knows what she's doing. And as far as I know, she still works for us. Nick indicated that she's still there. So I hate to do that because
It's just concerning that she's not returning the calls.
yeah, and it could be that she has nothing to report.
But then tell us that,
Yeah.
like Don said, just respond.
Yeah, even if it's only for 2 minutes.
Well,
Is she on vacation?
Maybe at the next
She could be.
meeting, maybe at the next meeting, we can talk about it further.
yeah,
Okay.
and in the meantime, Walter did say that he would
Reach out.
call her. And I think she'll take his call. But in the charter, right, Paul? With open space, can't negotiate, we don't have a budget, we don't, So we just sit here and talk about it.
No, I think we can do more than that. Like I
Well-
said, reaching out is not negotiating.
Right. And we do influence, that's what we do. So. But
We'll talk next meeting, maybe.
okay,
Well, maybe we'll refer. It's been correct.
It's another
Yeah.
month.
So she can be on vacation.
On vacation.
anything else? Okay, I move we adjourn,
Second.
all in favor?
Bye.
Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Good to see you all.
Do you know where the 10-mile river access is on here? I'm trying to place where it could be.
Does anybody know how?
Yeah.
It's right next to Sunrise Drive.
See the red,
Well, I see it.
well, that is, there's a trail down from Sunrise Drive to the river.
Yeah, that's where the drainage pipe goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,